All right, let's jump into our last segment of our 8 discussions on the path of knowledge. Our whole problem arose from the fact that we see ourselves separate and apart from the whole. On one side, we have our ego self, which is limited and restricted by the sense of being, body, and mind. The other part is God minus me. And this rift, it's like cutting a piece of cake and pulling it slightly away, so you've got a piece of cake and then the rest of the cake. That space in between there is a battlefield. It's the place of action. It's Kurukshetra, which is the name of the battlefield where the Bhagavad Gita takes place. That field of action that we have placed between ourselves and the whole is where this whole battlefield is taking place. Without realization, okay, if we go on in life as we are, you will be consumed by desires and fears, repeating themselves meaninglessly in endless suffering. So if we go on without coming to the understanding of our oneness, without coming to that, quote, experience of being one without a second, then we're just locked into our desires. The ego is a make-believe space. It will never have enough of anything due to the fact that it is really just an idea, a wrong idea of what we are and who we are. And so it will remain eternally insecure. You will never have enough pleasure, you will never have enough power, you will never have enough money, you will never have enough life. And the consequence of that is an idea of suffering. And it's meaningless. There's no point in it because it's untrue. It's due to a misunderstanding of who we are and what we are. Most people do not realize that there can be an end to pain, that this is an unnecessary exercise for us to be engaged in. But you know that you can be free, Sri Nisargadatta says, and now it is up to you. Your conviction will drive your action. To the degree that you can be convinced or know within that there is something more, that you are not this limited self, to the degree that you are convinced of that, you will act on it. You will make those changes. And your sincerity and earnestness are going to drive the speed at which you come to this realization. Sri Nisargadatta goes on to say, either you remain forever hungry, forever thirsty, longing, searching, grabbing, holding, ever losing and sorrowing, or go out wholeheartedly in search of the state of timeless perfection, to which nothing can be added, from which nothing can be subtracted or taken away. In it, all desires and fears are absent, not because they were given up, but because they have lost their meaning. This is a delightful statement right here. This wrong idea of religion, that it is all about a renunciation, taking away your favorite things and giving up that which you cherished, is false. If you follow the practices, you come to understand that the things that you have gathered together for the sake of ego are meaningless. There was no point in them, that you cannot add anything to yourself nor subtract anything from yourself. Just like in a dream, you can go about gathering as much dream material as you like, but when you wake up, you're still you, and none of the dream material made any difference whatsoever. And that is the fact of this real life. It ends in death. It's a good measure for what's important in the world. What we leave behind is the echo of our love, the love that we gave. And how do we go about getting there? Try to be, only to be. The all-important word is try. Allot enough time every day for sitting quietly and trying. Just trying to go beyond the personality with all of its addictions and its obsessions. Don't ask how, it can't be answered. You just keep on trying until you succeed. If you persevere, there can be no failure. What matters supremely is sincerity and earnestness. You must really have had enough of being the person you are, this bundle of restrictions and habits, this bundle of memories and identities that you've collected. You see, within you is that stillness that we've been talking about in every single one of these 8 parts. Within you is a stillness and a silence that is without need. Now, most of us are hooked directly to our senses, hooked directly to the mind. And we haven't experienced that inner peace because we're constantly distracted, constantly pulled out of our center. So our practice in meditation is to go and just imagine ourselves complete. Watch the mind and know it, come to know that it's separate from you, that you are only its observer. And through the freedom that that provides, you get to decide to what degree you're affected by it, by its desires, by its yearnings, by its lacks, by its obsessions, by its contradictions. And in the same way, we watch the body and we realize that we get to decide how much we get affected by its conditions. In that stillness is the gem of life. Find it. Buy that field, no matter how much it seems to cost.